Hey my friend, today I'm gonna show you a must-know way to use augmented chords. After watching this video, you will know exactly how to make beautiful music with augmented chords. So in a nutshell, an augmented chord is just like a major triad made of the notes 1, 3, and 5. But this time we're gonna do 1, 3, and sharp 5. We're gonna take the 5 of the chord and play it 1 fret up, which gives you this little tense chord, and that's a really classic voicing right here. So you can use it like this, or you can remove the bass note and you have a very easy triad. Like this. So if I play this chord and I stop on it, which song does it make you think about? Oh, darling. Right? Oh, Darling by the Beatles. So what they do right here is that they use the augmented chord on the 5 chord, which is one of the most classic ways to use it. So how do you find the 5 chord of a key? You just pick the root chord. In our case, we are in the key of A major. And then you walk up your major scale up until the 5th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's an E. So usually we can play a major chord here, which is very classic. You can play a dominant 7 chord to add a little bit more tension. Or you could use an augmented chord to have even more tension. Right? That chord really wants to resolve. You want to hear the da, 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 which is a really nice resolution. So you can always use the augmented chord on any 5 chord of a key. But if we go further, many songs use the augmented chord also on the 1 chord, on the root chord. So if I play, to make it simpler, I play my A major root chord like this. So I open the 5th and I play a small triad like this. Then to make it an augmented chord, we need to play the 5th 1 fret higher, which is the note on the 2nd string. And then we keep going and we play that chromatic line until we reach the dominant 7 chord on top. So that does A major, then A augmented, then A major 6, and then A dominant 7, like this. And that chord right here badly wants to resolve to the 4 chord, which is D. So once again, you take your root key, right, of A, 1, 2, 3, 4, until the 4th note of my A major scale, and then I build a major chord right here. So that does. And many composers are gonna use then the minor 4 chord to go back to the root chord, right? We call that a minor plagal cadence. So that's a super classic way, I think, about like some disco songs, right? Right? Or like some David Bowie or the Beatles, or so many songs are using this one. Maybe I'm gonna put a little list while editing this video. But not only that, many songs are doing this little chromatic climb twice. So they do it on the root chord, and then they do it on the 4 chord too. So I'm gonna do it on A. And then when I resolve on D, instead of playing it here, I'm gonna play it in an open position with the open 4th to have a really easier voicings to play. So that gives us that little D major triad, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna move the 5th of the chord, which is on the 1st string now. And then again. And then again. Right. And then with that D dominant 7, it wants to resolve to the chord of G. And if we calculate where that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flat 7, right? So we are now on the flat 7. So we could argue that we have changed keys right now and that we are in the key of G major. Or we could argue that we are on the flat 7 and then we need to come back to our home key. So the best way is to land on the 5 chord of the key where you want to go back to, which would be E, so that we can resolve back to A, right? Or you could even do an E augmented. Oh, darling. Right? So if I play that entire progression, you will see that it's super smooth and we always lead the chord to the next where we want to go, and we go back home to the home key at the end, right? So let's do it. I'm gonna resolve it. You deserve it. So that's kind of the double chromatic climb using the augmented chord. I have to mention that if you want to use it on the 5 chord, it only works for major keys, right? If I go to a major root chord, that works, but if I go to a minor root chord, let's say my key is the key of A minor, it doesn't work because if I play the 5 chord as an augmented chord, it kind of defines the little tension that we want, the little we don't get it, we get. So it's a really, really weak movement, I think, so you can use it on the 5 chord only in a major key, right? So I'm going to show you some shapes of triads so that you can use it in many different ways, right? So I used it from that A major triad, but we can invert that triad and find it in other places on the fretboard. So I can play that A major triad here. It's really reminiscent of the open A, right? And then I can do it here like I showed you, or here, right? So in that case, on that first one, the chromatic climb is gonna be on the 4th string like this. So that's a really nice voicing where you get a little crunch right here, and it's great to get some finger independence and practice your stretches a little bit. Then on this one, I already showed it to you. And then from this one, the chromatic climb is gonna be from the 3rd, on the 3rd string, right? So you could play it at many different places, and there's something super interesting that you might have noticed, is that when I play the augmented chord as the 2nd chord, it ends up being the same exact shape everywhere. So you got this shape, this one, and this one. So the augmented chord is symmetrical in nature. You're going to get the same exact shape everywhere on the fretboard. So you could use a shape and just move it down or up 4 frets, and that's going to be the same chord every single time. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can use that to your advantage to kind of travel up and down the fretboard with the same chord, or use the same shape everywhere that you go. So you can use it as that little shape right here, or you can add the bass note at the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. to make it sound bigger a little bit. So if you want to go further with me and learn even more chords, I have a gift for you before you leave. I have a free mini course on my website on spread triad chords. If you don't know how to play spread triads, they are so useful, they sound so beautiful. And I'm gonna show you how to play spread triads with major chords, minor, diminished, suspended chords. I'm gonna show you how to play them in many keys. I'm gonna give you chord charts and exercises and muting techniques. All of that is completely free on my website. It's my gift to you for watching my video until the end, and I hope that you will find that super, super helpful. So there you go, that's how you use the augmented chord. You can use it on the 5 chord, on the 1 chord, or even on the 4 chord if you do the double chromatic climb. You can also subscribe to my channel for more lessons like this in the future, and I'm gonna see you real soon in a new video. Until next time, au revoir.